Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Spirit Chat. And I'm very excited about my guest today. His name is Jonathan Carroll. Welcome, Jonathan.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Good to hear. And where are you again? Can you please share?
I am in sunny Ecuador today, down on the equator. That's where Ecuador gets its name. We're having probably 28 degrees Celsius weather and sun. It's the rainy season, so we get rain at night and then most of the time sun through the day. It's beautiful right now.
Well, at least it's warm, but don't rub it in because it's cold here. Lots of snow. Woke up to more snow today. Okay. So, and you're there until what, May or something? Living
May, yeah.
living the
Well,
life. You're living
yeah,
the
I'll be back
life.
for spring.
Okay. So I just want to share a little bit about you, Jonathan. Are you okay with that?
I am.
Okay. So I met Jonathan probably through social media, actually, back in the summertime. And Jonathan is a spiritual coach, and he's also an author. And I have his book here called Way of the Dragonfly. Very inspirational. So this is what we're going to chat about because I'm very curious as to what inspired you. How did you allow this to unfold for you? Like I'm very excited about it. And then you can share a little bit about the book if you don't mind.
Awesome. Where it started is probably the most surprising start. You might expect that I had some major download of what was supposed to come through this book, etc. But it's actually had much more kind of straightforward roots. One of my clients, a woman who's a self-development junkie, she does every program, every course. She is nonstop committed to her own personal growth and professional growth. She's very
Mm-hmm.
successful. She's made, I think, close to 150 million in her business.
Oh, wow.
But one year we're working together and she said, Jonathan, you need to have a book. And what she said was quite flattering. She said, you're like a Jay Shetty, but nobody knows who you are. And I chuckled at that and I thought, yeah, that's hilarious. But she said, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. And she was coming at it from a business angle. She was like, you need something to give away to people as a lead magnet that they can get inside of your head and a
Mm-hmm.
bit of a download of who you are and how you think and how you've arrived in the place that you have after having been on the spiritual journey you've been on. And I thought, okay, like just one more thing to get sorted in my business, funnels and lead magnets and PDFs and courses and all the rest. So I started writing this book and I had a couple ideas in mind of where I wanted to go, inspired by the Tao Te Ching, right? Lao Tzu's Tao Te
Okay.
Ching,
Yep.
88 chapters, 88 pages
Mm-hmm.
and as well as probably a lesser known book, but a really good one. It's actually an audio called 101 Ways to Transform Your Life by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And I
Love
took those two
him.
ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, a page per chapter
Yep.
and 101, just sounded like the bonus. Um, and then Way of the Dragonfly, which is really me, and encapsulates kind of us moving towards the light, expansion,
Mm-hmm.
spreading our wings, being in full expression, being in full color, etc. So that was really what started it all. And then I just sat down and thought through what are the 101 maxims that I would pass along for people that help you to stay high vibe, stay positive,
Mm-hmm.
to see ourselves as one, to see the illusion of separation, etc., and pack it into these fun little poetic nuggets that people could essentially pick up, flip open to a page if they wanted to not read linearly, and treat it like a tarot or an oracle deck, and get a little download for the
Yeah.
day. And so far the feedback's been really wonderful. People are really having a lot of fun with it.
And that's exactly how I treat it is like a tarot. I did today. It's like I just hold the book and I say, okay, what is it that I meant to know today? And then just trusting. And so I already did it. As you can see, I marked it in the book. So I'm going to share what I ended up with
Yeah, which
today.
one, what did you end up with? I'm
I
excited to
got
see.
number 39, laugh often.
Oh wow. I'm gonna pause you right there because
Yes.
there's some fun little tricks about this book that nobody knows until this moment. I've never said this to anybody out loud, so
Oh,
you're getting it. You and your
I
audience are
feel
getting it fresh,
special
Helen.
now. I feel special.
So after the 101 maxims were all laid out and sorted, I went back through and then I moved some of them around. And so I took some of the ones I liked most
Hmm.
and I put them on the 22s, the 33s, the 44s, the 55s, the
Okay.
66s, right? But I also put them on Tesla numbers, 369 numbers.
Oh,
And
that
so
rocks.
yeah, so laugh often is on a Tesla number, right? 39.
3 and 9.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Makes it 12.
I just thought I'd throw that in there. There's some like numerology and some codex built into the book
Okay.
that I never even told anybody
No,
about.
I'm glad that you share that with me because I'm all about Tesla. I'm all about those high vibrational numbers, right?
Yeah.
3, 6, 9. And this one adds up to 12.
Hmm.
So very cool. So I'm just going to quickly read because I'm really excited about this. And it says, let laughter be a regular part of your day, for it nourishes the soul as deeply as breath sustains the body. In the whirlwind of life, joy often slips away, leaving the spirit parched and weary. Embrace laughter and let the gentle breeze of humor refresh and uplift your being. Laughter is a sacred alchemy, dissolving worry and bridging hearts. Even a quiet smile can shift energy, transforming isolation into connection and turning frost into dew kissed blossoms under the universe's loving gaze. Scatter gladness freely. Greet challenges with playful resilience, infusing routine with lightheartedness as yeast lifts bread. Let humor heal and illuminate each morning. Celebrate life's absurdities, giggle at unexpected turns, and chuckle at your own missteps. Through frequent laughter, build a hearth of joy within, kindling your inner light even in life's darker moments. With an open heart, let the melody of laughter brighten the paths of all you meet, offering a soothing balm to this weary world. How beautiful and poetic is that? And I love how, and Jonathan has like the, on the other side, a blank page. So if you want to write notes, like a little journal, I like how you call it in your journal or in a meditation. And it says here, reflect on the role laughter plays in your life. How often do you let yourself fully embrace moments of joy and humor? Write about how bringing more laughter into your daily routine could uplift your spirit and strengthen connections with others. What small changes can you make to invite more moments of laughter and lightness into your life? So you really allow the reader to reflect on that. Like you said, go a little bit deeper. But my question is why dragonflies?
Hey, now we're on one of my favorite topics of all time, and I know one of yours as well. Uh,
Yeah.
so dragonflies have been a through line since I was a boy. And it wasn't until, really obviously much later in life where I was kind of connecting the dots. And there's this expression that I use often, and I teach people this, when we're thinking about our spiritual path, that
Mm-hmm.
our life is leaving us clues. And I love that looking back and thinking like we often think that the things we did in our past are completely unrelated to the things in our future. But oftentimes if we go back through, we can actually start mapping out
Mm-hmm.
little links, right? Energetically or metaphorically or literal connections, one thing led to another, etc. Anyway, so I was a kid and I was playing G.I. Joe in the neighborhood, and G.I. Joe characters are all named. And so at that time, I remember one of my uncles from Ireland had been visiting, and he had this funny way of he described dragonflies as helicopters, but he'd say it helicopter. So I would for fun, it wasn't his accent, he was just calling it a helicopter. And I remembered this, and it made me sort of like maybe pay a little extra special attention to dragonflies. And I just saw them as like these little helicopters, right? They I thought they were the coolest things ever. And the fact that they land on you in
Mm-hmm.
Canada, they're pretty social. So they land on you and they're not harmful. They don't bite. They don't, they're pretty chill. And so I just fell in love with dragonflies. And when we were playing G.I. Joe, I was codenamed Dragonfly. That was my G.I. Joe name. So I'd run through the ravine with my little plastic Uzi and we'd play war and I was codenamed Dragonfly. And then here, years later, I'm doing the complete opposite. I'm like trying to spread love and light. And I was going through a spiritual awakening, you could
Mm-hmm.
call it, right? Many people will be aware of what that means, right? Going through some really rough patch in life where
Mm-hmm.
the seeds cracked open, let's in the light, and here we go, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna the hardest journey of them all. And it was at that time I was lost in the weeds. I didn't know what was going on. Like everything was blown wide open. And so as many of us in that moment of spiritual awakening are cast into what feels like chaos, trying to sort it all out. I was reaching for all the tools I possibly could. So I was watching videos, reading books, YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So one of the authors I was listening to at the time on her YouTube actually was Gabrielle Bernstein,
Mm.
The Universe Is Your Back, Spirit Junkie. She's, popular for a number of books. And one of the practices that she talks about is choosing a sign from the universe. So she's saying, if you want to know if you're on track or you want some feedback about whether this feels right or wrong, et cetera, choose a sign. And she was saying, don't be so, nothing so usual like a dog. You'll see a dog everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So pick something slightly obscure. And she used the example, hers is the owl. Makes sense. Owl's kind of obscure. You don't see it every day. And so when she sees an owl, she knows I'm on track and the universe is saying yes to this or it's in resonance, etc. And mine immediately popped in. It was like it made perfect sense. It's going to be the dragonfly. Well, within days, it seemed, I was at my first ever Reiki appointment. And as I'm getting up off the table from my first ever Reiki treatment, the Reiki master, who's now a very dear friend of mine and another spiritual guru, um, she she said, "Take your time. I'll be in the other room. We can have a
Mm-hmm.
chat afterwards." And so as I'm getting off the table, I see there's a paperweight and a matchbox, both with dragonflies on them. And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty, in my face." So I asked her, "Could I take a photo of these? These are a universal sign for me." And
Mm-hmm.
then without even batting an eyelid, she said, "Oh yeah, transformation." And I just had this like step back because I had
Yeah.
just not too long ago finished starting and naming my brand new coaching company, Title Transformation. And inside the T, I put a dragonfly because I love dragonflies. Later found out that the dragonfly symbolizes transformation, and my
Transformation.
company is called Title
Yeah.
Transformation. I was like, so then I'm starting to see them everywhere. But she flips open to this website, and I've got it in the beginning of the book here in the introduction. And she reads this small section. If I'll read it for you because it's super short to make sense. But this is what she reads to me in that moment. The dragonfly in almost every part of the world symbolizes change, specifically the kind of change that stems from mental and emotional maturity, leading to deeper self-realization. Its flight across water represents the act of going beyond the surface and exploring the deeper meanings of life. And it's like, if I wasn't like right there in that moment, beginning that journey, my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. So, and then I started seeing dragonflies, I mean, everywhere. Like it started like becoming almost a joke. Like I was like, wow, they are everywhere. And I felt it was a moment in my life where people hearing this right now may relate. I was going through such rapid expansion as a result of this awakening because I was hungry for
Mm-hmm.
different information.
Being a sponge.
Don't give me any of this fucking religion shit anymore. I'm done with
Mm-hmm.
rules. I'm done with all this stuff. I was really feeling like there must be a better set of principles that will help me understand my world. And as I leaned more and more into spirituality, I was starting to open up to all of these possibilities. So that's how the dragonfly came to be such a prominent symbol in my work. And also, it's such a great calling card. Like, there are so many people now that will just literally inbox me a photo of a dragonfly, and they know they don't have to say anything. I'm just going to appreciate it.
Yeah. And it's because of a dragonfly for me this summer that led me to meet you. So you want to talk about serendipities and synchronicities? Like that was a wowzer, if you ask me. Um,
Yeah.
do you remember the story?
All right. All of it. Yeah. Like night and day. Um, I remember it was our mutual friend, Elvira, who had put us in touch because Elvira is in one of my Dragonfly Club programs. And she, oh, you had posted, right. You had posted
Mm-hmm.
that a dragonfly landed on you?
On my forehead, my third eye,
Forehead.
right on
Right.
my third eye, and wouldn't move,
Okay. Yeah.
would
And then
not move
I have an old profile photo of me with a dragonfly on my forehead.
on your third
Came
eye.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Elvira put us in touch about dragonflies. You read one of my recent posts, was like, whoa. And then we talked, and I sent specifically the photo of me with the
Mm-hmm.
dragonfly
Which
on
was
my
really
third eye, and
cool.
you were like, wow, this must be the sign, right?
Yeah.
So, and then we were actually talking about signs in that moment.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no such thing as coincidence, and the universe likes to play. And I just strongly feel that that was for sure, that was like the button to push. Okay, connect with Jonathan, right? And then just reading your profile and everything about you, it's just like, whoa, this man's got to go it on. So I got to meet this dude, and here we are. And I did take one of your courses, which was absolutely amazing. Was it 12? Was it 12 weeks?
12 weeks,
I think
yeah,
it was
out of
12
Morgan's.
weeks, and we finished like near the end of November. And that's when your book was just coming out. And man, I can't believe how fast it was selling for you. What are you at now? Because it's on Amazon, like one of the top three spiritual books. Congratulations on
Yeah,
that, by the way.
thank you. We're at 750 copies sold so far.
Yeah, just what, since
And
December? Was it right?
since
November,
September total.
September?
Yeah. And
Okay.
what's cool about that is that most self-published authors will never reach 250 books sold in a lifetime. So
What?
we're already at 750 in 5 months, we'll call it. And I'm not planning to stop any. Well, you know the secret I just let out, which is book number two is on the way.
Yes, I'm
So
excited about that. I already saw the book cover, which is very magical. We discussed that previously, how the contrast of dark and light, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And that's basically again for like the seekers that want to go deeper in their spirituality. So I like that that's available coming out. And I'm looking forward to that. But you're saying is it sometime this year it's going to come out?
it'll be out this year. Yeah, there's still lots of work to do on it, but the manuscript is mostly written, going through making edits right now, putting all
Yeah.
little finishing touches on it. So no set release date, but it'll
Okay.
be a few months probably.
When you were writing your book, did you notice anything, any shifts happening within you? Like, do you have any stories in synchronicities or serendipities as you were writing it? Like, because you must have been like tapped in. Like, did you go into meditation mode? How were you inspired?
At the time I was writing it, I was living in Costa Rica. I remember a specific period of time. It wasn't like this the whole time I wrote, but for probably the portion where I was beginning, like getting the flow going, I was starting my mornings around 5 a.m. with the meditation on the beach
Oh,
just
wow.
prior to sunrise. So
Mm-hmm.
sunrise was coming up behind me as I was meditating facing the ocean. And then I'd walk back and have my coffee and start writing my book pretty early in the morning, somewhere around 6 or so. And I just remember, like, it's funny you asked that. Like I just remember feeling very clear, I think is maybe the
Mm-hmm.
best way of putting it. Like there wasn't a lot of like clutter to sort through. So things were able to come through me pretty cleanly. Um, I also had this really insatiable like surge of energy to put into it. Either it was motivation or excitement or the possibility that it could, I'm very visual. So this first book, I'm not doing this for the second one. For also the first book is very visual, like you pointed out, there's, you
Hmm.
know, graphics within it that help, guide your eye to different portions of the book, either a dragonfly fact or a reflection prompt, etc. And this one's more of writing and content. So this one I built in Canva.
Yeah.
I went through and I actually built it more like I designed the page rather than wrote a page. And then
Nice.
I left a spot for the text to go in and went back and put the text into those spots. So I was inspired to visually see the book coming alive in
Hmm.
in real time. Whereas this other book I'm writing right now is really just text. So it's not like you can open it and see a book. Whereas the Canva version, I could lay it all out and I could literally see the pages flip in front of me if I wanted. And it really got me excited about this being an end product. Now I understand the process, so I know that, a Word document will turn into a book just as easily.
Hmm.
But it was really cool to be able to visually see it happening in real time. Um, yeah, just to fuel me to keep going. Like we'll need many more pages, or how many can I get done in a day, or that kind of a thing. So kind of playing games with myself.
Yeah. And I wanted to share too, like how for me, this is my second book of yours. Do you remember why I had to buy the second one? What did I do with my first?
No.
Yeah.
Shoot.
My
Oh,
cousin.
yes, I do
My
remember. Oh,
cousin. Yes. So my beautiful cousin Elaine just recently passed. And when I went to go see her in hospice, her room was filled with dragonflies. And I mean like everywhere. That's her thing. And so her wish was she was hoping to make it until Christmas. So I just got this nudge and I took my book, wrote a little passage in it for her, and I brought it. And she did. She made it to past Christmas time. And so, and then someone had gifted me a dragonfly keychain. So it's with me wherever I go. And it's kind of hard to explain how I got my first sign with the dragonfly, knowing that it was Elaine, right? But let me say it had to do with a coffee mug and had to do with up north because that's where I had the one that landed on my third eye was up north. But I do feel her presence and in through dragonflies. So I just wanted to share that with you and with my listeners, like just how special these little universal signs are, and from our loved ones and from our spirit guides. And the whole time you were talking, I'm sensing like you do have a spirit guide with wings that was helping you with this book. No doubt, no doubt. And the fact that you're open and that you are a channel, that's the gift that you put into this book of yours is sharing your healing energy through this book. But there's one thing I wanted you to describe for my listeners, and that is something about how they are underwater.
the nymphs?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, the dragonfly life cycle, which is actually plays a really significant part in book two. Um, I'll speak about that in a moment. One of the cycles of the dragonfly. So the eggs are laid in the water. The eggs hatch and they hatch into what's called a nymph.
Mm-hmm.
So the nymph is like a little underwater bug, little underwater creature that looks like it's got like little exoskeleton, like a beetle almost. And the dragonfly, depending on what species we're talking about, can live underwater for up to 4 years. So think of
Okay.
that, 4 summers, four
Wow.
winters, right?
Yeah.
Season
That's a
going
long time.
by as a nymph underwater. They eat other larvae, they eat mosquito larvae.
Mm-hmm.
They're very beneficial. And then eventually, whenever it's time, some of those species, as late as 4 years later, they emerge from the water under the cover of night and they crawl up a reed and then they pause on this reed just before dawn and the back splits open and out come these wings
Wow.
and the wings fill up with fluid and they finally fill their the full shape of the dragonfly.
Yeah.
And the tail kind of like extends out as well, right? And everything's filling up with fluid in that moment. And then by the time the sun comes out in the morning and it's shining on this little creature, I've watched this live, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Iridescent.
Um,
Yeah.
And then, yeah, all the wings are just kind of like glistening like a stained glass window. And then off it takes flight for the first time. It's a fascinating process. So in book two, I really leaned into the cycle of the dragonfly. And so the book two is about manifesting using the seven hermetic principles. And each of those seven principles has its own chapter. But in the chapter, I've broken it into the four stages of the dragonfly life cycle. So you can kind of like see it laid out. It's kind of just gives it a rhythm, like how to follow this principle using these four
Okay.
steps, principle, these four steps, and it just turns it into 28 chapters, which there's some beauty to that numerology as well. Full moon cycle and divided by 7, 4 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
really fun. So it's a month of exercises on manifesting, but not from the law of attraction
Yes.
perspective, more about the inner workings of the universe and how we are co-creators of our own reality.
I totally agree with that. Oh, I'm going to buy several copies of that for sure. Can you explain in layman terms for my listeners, what are the Hermetic principles? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. So the Hermetic principles are it's not really am I bold enough to say that? It's not really science. You could probably find a lot of science in it, but the they're observations.
Uh,
So way back in the day, back in 19, I think it was oh 08, the Hermetic principles were written down in a book called the Kybalion. And the Kybalion is was written by the three initiates. Some give credit to a singular author, but there's no guarantee that that was who that was. But it was really just someone who was taking hermeticism,
mhm.
and putting it into some kind of written form, and that ended up being the Kybalion, very very famous book. And the seven principles themselves are I don't want to miss any here. Let me pull this up. So you got mentalism, which is everything is mind. Correspondence is as within, so without. Vibration, as in everything is energy.
Mhm.
Polarity, everything has an opposite, or we can introduce this notion of duality, right? Which many of us are familiar with. Rhythm is the notion that kind of like the tarot card, is it the world? Like, is it no, the wheel. Everything
The
is in
wheel,
motion,
yeah. Hmm.
right? The wheel. That's the one I'm thinking of. Cause and effect. So inputs and outputs kind of thing. Like there's a again, it's back to duality. And then gender, which is also kind of a form of duality. And so masculine, feminine
Hmm.
energies wrap everything, create the whole. And so when we look at these seven principles, and they're so similar, I spend a lot of time in chapter one outlining mentalism, as in the universe is mind, the universe is mental,
Hmm.
which means we are coloring our reality with our own thoughts, and our thoughts are creating our reality at the same time. So we're layering perception on top of what we experience, but the perception itself is also a projector. So it's going to create a reality for us. And we're constantly in conversation or co-creation with that reality. And how we color what we see outside, so as within,
Hmm.
so
So
without.
without.
However I am inside is
Hmm.
what my outside will begin to be shaped as. So there's a lot of fun stuff in this in the principles. Many of them are echoed throughout lots of spiritual teachings. They may not just be called Hermetic principles. You might
Hmm.
see them named as different things. Um, there are principles that will be echoed in quantum, like quantum physics and quantum reality. People will see similarities to Hermeticism inside, say, Joe Dispenza's work. They'll see similarities inside Gabby Bernstein's work. It's like they're universal observations about how energy functions in the universe. And so we're just giving it some framework to help us channel it towards, okay, now I get it. Manifesting isn't just like thinking happy thoughts and hoping
Hmm.
one day the universe serves. There's a little bit more to it. What more influence do I have as a powerful co-creator of my reality?
I love how you said that, co-creator. Definitely. because that's what we're doing is we're co-creating with the universe and vice versa. So I like the sound of that. I'm definitely for sure going to be getting that book. I'll have to have you back on the show for that one.
Happy to. Happy to.
Now, is there anything that else that you want to share? You know, you're such a beautiful human. Like, is there anything else that you want to share in regards to what you do other than just your book?
We are in the early stages of building out a membership site for people to join the Dragonfly Club, which
Mm-hmm.
is how you entered my field, I suppose. First it was the Dragonfly, and then it was the Dragonfly Club. The Dragonfly Club is really kind of a membership society for people that want more of this. They also want access to other people that are maybe in this spiritual
Like-minded.
light,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like-minded, like-hearted, um, and on a similar journey. And so that they're not alone, but
Mm-hmm.
also there's resources there. So we're going to be building that out over time. But I'm going to share the link so that people can go and check it out right now. So if people want to go and visit thedragonflyclub.com/welcome, they will find access to get into the Dragonfly Club. And a short time after that, we're going to start building out this library of resources for people,
That's
some of which
exciting.
will be free,
Yeah.
and then there are opportunities to jump into programs and
Mm-hmm.
so on. The free stuff, I think, will be the first stuff we focus on.
Yeah. I'm still in contact with some of the girls from our course. Right.
Yeah, awesome.
That's again, it's like it's exciting to be amongst like-minded people. Like you said, there's some people that are just awakening and they're alone and they don't know where to go. And that's exactly what this membership is all about, is bringing, what does that say that you saying? What's that saying that you say?
Lights
Lights,
will find other lights.
lights
Yeah,
find other lights, right? I don't know. That to me, that's just very poetic. And it's so true at the same time, is that,
yeah.
right? Um, there's also one more thing is that when people want to buy your book, can they only get it just through Amazon? Is there any other way that they can order it?
Yeah, this one's only available on Amazon. Whatever country you use, Amazon will have it available. So .com, .ca, .co.uk, they're all available there. Way of the Dragonfly, it should pop up pretty easy in a search.
Okay. So I want to do one more for my listeners, and I'm going to do the exact same thing I did this morning and just ask as a collective, what message can we receive from Wave the Dragonfly today? So, no matter when you're listening to this message is meant for you, for my listeners. So, I'm just going to put it out there. You're going to watch me do this. Okay. So, as a collective, what's the message that we need to hear for today? And I'm turning to page. Can you imagine it was the same one? Oh, 49, page 49, not page 49, but number 40, random acts of kindness. I shall read that very quickly. Okay. So practice kindness freely without expectation, Dragonfly. Each small gesture is a spark, a star illuminating the vast night sky of existence. These simple acts ripple through the quantum field, touching lives far beyond what you may ever see or know. Kindness, like the universe itself, is infinite. From the sun's warmth to the rain's gentle touch, the universe offers its gifts without condition. When we extend kindness freely, we align ourselves with this boundless flow, experiencing the quiet joy that emerges from giving. Living this way requires an open heart and a mindful presence. Opportunities for kindness abound in the shared smile of a stranger, the unnoticed hand extended in help, or the thoughtful word offered at the perfect moment. Each of these moments deepens the soul's understanding of love and empathy, revealing kindness as a transformative force. By practicing random acts of kindness, you attune yourself to the gentle rhythm of the cosmos. In these humble acts, you embrace the profound lessons of connection and unity, becoming a vessel of universal light. Shine brightly through your kindness, illuminating the way for others. Wow. Oh, I love that one. I really do. And we need more of
Yeah,
that.
this book is really one of those invitations to people that if I've heard so many people say, I just I keep it around. It's not one of those books like you read and put away. It just
Hmm.
sits out and people have it next to their bed on their nightstand or on a coffee table or in the kitchen when they're getting ready in the morning. But people have shared that they're keeping this around and they're getting something out of it ongoing. So
Hmm.
that to me is such a beautiful thing to hear,
Yeah,
to think that like someone didn't read your book, have an opinion about it, and then put it away forever. It's literally sitting out. And I think, one of the things I love about it too is it's also very beautiful. It's a beautiful design cover, and
it
so
is.
it
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 truly
deserves to
is.
be
Yeah.
sitting out. It is one of those special
And
books.
for my listeners, you can also get to see his picture on the back. Had to share that. Well, it's nice to see the face behind the words, right?
It is indeed. It is indeed.
Absolutely. And you're kind of inspiring me. A seed may have been planted because I haven't put it, oh, I just put it up on my website. I've got a designer, well, he's kind of like my assistant, and he finally put up, I created a digital um, called Postcards from Heaven. So they're messages from spirit from your loved ones. But I did it in a digital format. So it's a shuffler, digital shuffler. But I have thought about doing it this way in the book, right? And then perhaps
Like it.
expanding on the messages and treating it the same way. It's like, okay, Dad, what do you want me to know? Mom, what do you want me to know? Just something like that. So you have planted a seed with me. Maybe it's a little nymph. Maybe
I
it's gonna
love it.
maybe it's gonna take 4 years,
Yeah.
right?
Awesome. Well, let me know if you need any help because I have I dove deep this year into publishing books, selling books,
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, etc. And so now I'm helping clients who are writing their own books to get them out in the world. Um, it's by no means a get rich quick scheme, but
Mm-hmm.
there is money to be made, especially if you think about the options for after the book has been sold. Who are we getting to have conversations with? What kind of, communities are we joining, et cetera, et cetera. So this has opened so many doors just as a result of being out in the world. I'm getting invited to things. I'm on this podcast, it's a really wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyone who's thinking about publishing a book, give some thought to it. It's
Yeah,
not
it's there.
impossible. It's not as hard as it seems. And this lived as a digital download for a long time before it was a book. And it wasn't until another one of my clients, who's a published author,
Mm-hmm.
said to me, if you really committed yourself, you could probably be holding your book in about 2 or 3 weeks' time.
What?
I thought, wow, because it was already written. It was already done, and it was in a PDF format, and it was being sold as a digital
Okay.
copy. And
Because
he
mine
said,
is done, kind of.
there
Kind
isn't much more to
yeah.
do other than, follow the guidelines on Amazon and print it. And I thought, and that was just shy of my summer retreat last year. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, how amazing would it be to have 22 people from around the world landing in Canada to come for their retreat
Mm-hmm.
to get one of these as a gift? And I was like, I'm doing it. So yeah. So
Yeah. Well, I'm like three-quarters of the way through creating my online course. So perhaps once that's up and running,
yeah.
then for sure I'll lean into probably what you just said, planting the seed and creating it into a book. And
Yeah.
especially now that I'm voicing it here and I'm putting it out there on the universe.
Everyone's waiting for it now. Everyone's
And
expecting.
it's like you're gonna read, Helen, did you write it? Did you do it? Because like you,
Yeah.
it's already written. Like I said, it's already in digital format. But I probably would like to take it and just expand just a little bit more on each one. I think there's like 75 messages. So that could mean 75 pages. There you go. Or make it an even Tesla number,
There you go.
right?
Yeah. Around. That's one of the things I remember about writing this book was there were aspects of it which were, of course, very administrative. There were other aspects of it which were so fun and creative. And then after the fact, thinking about the fun and creative ways you want to share it with the world or what you want to
Mm-hmm.
do with, I mean, I own a book. I could literally ship a book to someone's home with my, written inscription inside of it
Yeah.
and not tell them it's coming, and like the amount of fun I can have with this thing now that it's
Yeah.
created is amazing. And yeah, I'm having tons of fun with it.
And so you should, just like a little dragonfly. And so you should.
Yes,
So,
so
on
I
that
should.
note, did you want to repeat again how my listeners and my viewers can get a hold of you if they want to ask some questions?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Any of your
On
courses?
Instagram, I am at Johnny, Jonny, no H, dot Carroll, Carroll, like you see on the screen here.
Hmm.
And where else? LinkedIn, Jonathan Carroll. You can find me there. I'm connecting with more and more people there. I was recently booted off of Facebook, and so I am in no plans to
Now,
return there
you
any.
of all people, how the heck could you be been booted off of Facebook? Because usually that would be because of a political stance, but you're not that way.
You want my conspiracy theorist answer?
Yeah, I do. Why
Of course
not?
you do.
Yeah, I do.
They're taking the light away. They're trying to find all the ways they can find people who are sharing light and dismantle them.
Okay,
So
I'm not surprised. I'm not
yeah,
surprised. Wow.
so I think that's my conspiracy answer. I had no reason to be booted off there.
Well,
I've
that's
been
that's why I
a
asked you that
verified
question.
verified account, paying them money monthly to be on there. 7,000 plus followers. Pretty, you know, pretty squeaky clean account.
Yep, yep.
And all of a sudden just off and no explanation and no a way to get back on, not even a way to appeal. So, anyways, Instagram and LinkedIn for now,
Hmm.
Amazon for the book. And I really do genuinely love connecting with people. So if anyone has a question or want to know more about the book or
Even more about you.
more about me, whatever, reach out. I'm
Okay.
happy to connect with
Well,
people.
Jonathan, you made my day. You made my show.
Hey, let's pause for a moment here. I'm taking the reins of this thing. You knew I was going to do this, didn't you?
Mm.
I want to just put the spotlight on Helen for a moment because
Mm.
you're such a trailblazer. And I think your audience probably knows this already, but audience, if you don't, Helen is awesome. She's such a sweetheart. She's so connected, and I remember in our 12-week program, the amount of times that you would bring truth, I think is maybe
Mm.
the word, just
Hmm.
just truth to situations or conversations with what you're able to see and feel and sense. Your intuition is off the charts. And so for those of you that have had the opportunity to work with Helen, I know you know that already. And for those that haven't, reach out to her. She's really amazing.
Oh, Jonathan, from your heart to mine, thank you so much. And from my heart to yours, thank you so much for being on the show. And I'm so looking forward to your new book. And that's probably when I would like to have you back.
Yay! Let's do it.
Okay. We'll see you on the other side.
And to anyone in advance who is picking up a copy, thank you so much. It means the world to me to see that we're spreading love and consciousness throughout the
Hmm.
world. And if you do get a copy and you like it, please leave a review. An honest one is fine. And tell someone else about the book. That would be wonderful.
Great. Thank you, Jonathan.
Mwah!